Hello everyone. So today I wanted to give you a quick unhaul. I wanted to show you all the books I'm going to be getting rid of soon because I think later this week, while my daughter is in preschool, Eliza and I are gonna go around and check out all of the little free libraries around our area. I did this back at the last place we lived and it was fun. I just want to check out what they're like in this area, see if they have some good stuff, so I know if I want to visit them later. And I figure this is a good time to tell you what I'm unhauling because I'm going to probably be dropping these books in each of the little free libraries as I go. I will be doing a vlog on it, so just watch out. That'll probably be in the next couple weeks that I will show you my little vlog of my little free libraries in this area and what I end up picking up and all that. But let's just look. I have tons of books that I am getting rid of. Just so you know, most of these I have read or DNF'd. I am trying to limit the amount of books I keep to only books that I really loved and think that I would want to reread again, or just like favorites. So anything rated like 3 and under, I generally will unhaul, or it could be even a 4 or 5 star book, but if I know I'm never going to read that book again, I'm just getting rid of it. I just don't have enough space with the amount of books I own to keep books that were mediocre or books that I'm not going to read again. So these are in no order. I'm just gonna show you and kind of briefly why I'm getting rid of it. So I am unhauling First and Then by Emma Mills. This was my first book that I am unhauling as part of my Keep, Read, and Unhaul series. You guys voted and this book got the most votes to get rid of, so I have not read this yet. This was a YA romance. I tried reading it at one point, didn't really get into it, and you guys told me to just go ahead and get rid of it, so that's what I'm doing. Next I have Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. This is a thriller. I did read this and I did enjoy it. I think I gave it 4 stars, but it's the kind of thriller that once I've experienced it once, I don't really want to experience it again. Like, it was enjoyable the first time, but it's not going to be one I revisit. Next I have Catch-22 by Joseph Heller, and this is a classic. I actually just bought this last year at a library sale, but I didn't really know what it was about. I just knew it was a classic, and then when I looked into it, it turns out it's a war story, and I just don't really like books on war, so I don't think I'm going to be reading this when I've got tons of other classics I want to read, and this wasn't like a nice copy anyways. It was kind of a beat up copy that I got for like 25 cents, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Somebody else will probably enjoy it. Next I have Dumplin' by Julie Murphy. I did read this and I think I gave it like a 2 or 3 stars. It was fine, nothing exciting, ready to move on. I have Unbreak My Heart by Melissa Walker. It's one of my least favorite covers of all time, so I'm getting rid of it. And also I DNF'd this book. I only made it about a third of the way through. Didn't like it. It was a YA romance and it was just not good. Next I have The Winter's Kiss and The Winter's Curse. I only own these 2. This is the first and the third in the series. And overall, I enjoyed this series, but I hated the middle book, and I just don't think that I would ever read it again, having to slog through the middle book that I hated. So there's no point in keeping these 2 because I've had the experience, I enjoyed it enough, and I'm not gonna revisit this world again. Next I have Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. I did read this one, gave it average 3 stars, not something I'm gonna read again. Same way with This Mortal Coil by Emily Suvada. This is a YA dystopian. It was entertaining. I think I gave this 4 stars. Like, I did really enjoy my experience, but it was I've since then have moved on the series. I read the second one, wasn't as good. I am gonna finish it off, but this is not gonna be a new favorite series, so there's no reason for me to keep this one. Same way with My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry by Frederick Bachman. I enjoyed this all right. It was mediocre to me. I do want to continue reading his books, but I'm not like somebody that needs to collect all of the books of an author. If there's a book I didn't love by that author, I don't need to keep that book, even though I want to read some of his others and hope I love them. Next I have A Stolen Life by J.C. Duggart. This is a memoir about her time in captivity, and I did think this was a good book to read, like a worthwhile read, but I just don't want it in my house anymore. I know that sounds bad, but she was abused by this person, and I just don't want my kids accidentally picking this book up and reading it before they're the age of being able to, and I don't think I'm ever gonna read it again because once was enough. I'm not saying you shouldn't read it, because I do think it was a worthwhile read. I just don't want to experience it again or see it on my shelf, because it would make me depressed to remember her abuse and all that stuff. So I'm just not going to keep it on my shelf. Next I have Graffiti Moon by Calth Crowley. I think I gave this 2 stars. I just didn't like it. It's a YA, kind of has a little romance in it, but mostly just a contemporary that takes place in one night, but just wasn't that interesting. Then I also have Emmy and Oliver by Robin Benway. It's another YA romance that I just didn't think the romance was necessary. Could have just stayed a platonic friendship, and I just didn't find it all that good. And then I have Cancer Vixen by Marisa Acochello Marchetto, and this one is a graphic memoir, and I just didn't like the art style, and it wasn't what I was expecting, so I actually DNF'd this about 20 pages in. Next, I just have a string of 3-star books that just were not good enough for me to want to keep, and that would be Legend by Marie Lu. I read this whole series. Overall, I just found this to be a 3-star series. I don't necessarily regret reading it, but I will never go back and read these books again. Same thing with Starflight by Melissa Landers. It was fine. It was fun reading it, but I'm not going to continue in the series, and I'll never reread this one. That one was a YA sci-fi. It was fine for the first time. Then I have Mr. Penumbrum's 24-Hour Bookstore, which actually this is not one of those same ones. This is a 2-star book. Actively did not like it, so definitely not keeping it in my house. The Professor and the Madman by Simon Winchester, and this was a nonfiction book about the creation of the Oxford English Dictionary. I did really like this book and thought it was a good read and worthwhile read and would recommend it, but I have the information now, and it's not what I'm going to return to, because there are parts of this book I didn't like, so yeah, I don't have any reason to keep it. And then I have The Golden Curse by M. Lin. This is a self-published author doing a YA fantasy, and it seemed right up my alley because it's kind of like a fairy tale retelling, but the romance was just a little too angsty for me, and so it's just not my thing, but I think that her plot was good and her concept was good. It just wasn't my series, and even though this is a beautiful cover and I feel bad getting rid of it, I just can't keep books that were mediocre to me. And then I have The Lost World by Micah Crichton. I love Jurassic Park, but I did not like The Lost World. I do not think this was a good book, so I am not keeping it. And then I have a couple books that I did enjoy, I just don't think I would return to, and I have The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I just read this like a couple weeks ago, and I did enjoy it. It was 4 stars. It was a really good book, but I just don't see myself rereading it, and I don't know, like this one I'm a little on the fence, but I just really shouldn't be keeping books that I don't think that I want to reread in the future, because I've got plenty of books to read and plenty of books I want to reread. And then I have The Song Will Save Your Life by Layla Sales. I do think this was a good book. It just wasn't like necessarily for my age group, and so I'm not going to return to this book again. And by the time my kids get to teens, this will probably be pretty outdated, so I'm getting rid of it. And then the last one was The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. I love this book. This was a 5-star book. The reason I'm getting rid of it is that this copy is like, I got this at a secondhand store. It is really ripped up. It's a little mass market paperback, and I just want to buy a nice copy to have. So I'm going to buy a new copy soon and get rid of this old, like, damaged paperback. So that's it. That's my like giant mass of books that I'm going to take to the little free library and hope other people will enjoy these, because most of these were not like horrible books. A lot of them were just mediocre for me, but other people might really enjoy them. So I'm going to give them to those, and look out for that vlog coming soon where I show you what things I pick up, or just show you the little free libraries in my town, because sometimes they're so cute. So I will talk to you next time. Bye.